Every January, builders sit down with their accountants and they realize the same exact thing. They can't trust their numbers and their financials are a complete mess. That's how it was for me and my business as well, until I invested in the systems and the processes to ensure we were capturing the right data that made tax season not such a headache for us. The problem starts with data capture. And as you go through the year, you incur expenses on materials and subcontractors. We need to ensure that we are logging these expenses, one, to the correct project, and second, to the correct cost code or cost category. That surely makes us better at budgeting throughout the year, but more importantly, it helps for this whole tax season. In the end, it's really not the accountant that's the problem, it's the system that's feeding the information to the accountant that is the problem. You need to ensure that you have a single source of truth for your financials, that you're connected between your project management software and your accounting software, and that you have all the numbers where they're supposed to be. The next area of focus is understanding exactly what your accountant needs from you as a builder. They're going to need some core reports. They're going to need your profit and loss statement. They're going to need your balance sheet. But more importantly, when it comes to that profit and loss, they need to know your profitability by project. So you need to be able to track revenue by project, as well as your cost by project with those detailed cost codes. This is so important because your accountant's going to really help you understand what's a deduction, what's not, what might be carried forward from one year to the next, what is a capital improvement. That's all the work that they're going to be doing. They can't do that work unless they have everything clearly articulated with these reports to that level of detail. In the end, it all comes down to what software you're using to capture this information and what other software you're integrating into as well. So I personally use Buildertrend for all of my job costing. That means that every single expense that hits my business is either being entered in Buildertrend itself or it's being entered in accounting software that's syncing over with Buildertrend. But what's important is that every single dollar flows through your system. When it comes to your job costs, you need to ensure that you have a really strong budget feature so we can establish what our estimate is. We can also establish what our actual spend is throughout the year and ultimately when a project or year is complete. We can then provide these reports to our accountant. It's of course important that we are syncing with our accounting software. This is so important. There's a lot of builders out there maybe using some financial features of something like Buildertrend but not connecting to QuickBooks. That's a huge mistake. In the end, we're going to end up doing a bunch of reconciling together. We need to make sure that we make use of this really strong two-way sync connection between those two pieces of software. That's ultimately going to lead to success. It's important we understand the overall flow of our financials. Every project starts with an estimate that moves forward to getting bids and allowances situated, over to purchase orders, and then to ultimately the actual expenses, the bills that we incur. Those bills are entered in our system, and we're good to go for our budgeting and for our tax prep. In thinking about your tax prep, the software and the system that you use is absolutely crucial. I use Buildertrend for all of my job costing. Every single dollar that runs through my projects hits Buildertrend through a bill or through a QuickBooks expense that gets synced over. It's important that we understand that flow. Everything starts with an estimate that moves over to our bills, ultimately to our budget where we can see how we're spending against our estimate, and that is our prep. That's our staging area for what we're providing to our accountant. What's so important about this is that we are absolutely syncing these two pieces of software together, that being Buildertrend and our accounting software, something like QuickBooks Online. Those two must be talking together to ensure that we're not doing reconciliations later. The cleaner our system here, the cleaner our tax prep is going to be. I don't prep for tax season anymore. My system does all the heavy lifting. I make sure that I put the numbers where they're supposed to go. I follow that process, and tax prep is an absolute breeze. In the end, January is potentially messy for you. That's okay. Let's take the time right now to fix whatever we had to do from last year, and let's think about what improvements we can make now so that we can have a really strong year, a really clean year, and that way we're sitting here next year thinking about how easy our tax prep is, right? Don't get overwhelmed by the fact that your numbers might be a mess. Take this as an opportunity. It's only January. Let's fix last year, and let's really think about the rest of the year that we have left. We have a lot of time to improve our processes and our systems. Tax season does not have to hurt. What's important is that we think about proactively, how can we day to day, month to month, throughout the year, use the right systems, use the right processes, enter the numbers where they're supposed to be, so that all we're doing when it comes to tax season is pulling really simple reports. That's how it was for me. What is the problem? How can I make improvements? How can I invest in software and systems to improve myself and my business? We have a lot of content that's up that's going to help you do this. Again, it's early in the year. Certainly let me know what's important to you, what questions you have, what strategies you might have used. I'd love to collaborate with you as well, and I'll see you in the next video.